Good evening, everybody. DJ Styles here, Custom Corpses. Let me plug this phone in. We're live. I told you I'd come back on tonight, and I'm here. And I fixed this tripod. Don't ask me how, but I somehow got it to where it grabbed. I don't even know what happened. But anyway, I fixed the tripod, and I want to share what I'm doing here. First thing I got to do is I got to pull up the flashback mask I plan on using. Well, give me a second here. Okay. Now, I'm on Facebook or YouTube. That. All right. Go to my channel. Okay, I'm live. Facebook. Why does this keep doing this to me? Okay. Come join me. bear with me, guys. I'm actually posting on here, trying to get people to join me on Facebook. All right. Well, I'm not going to do any more of that. I want to get busy with what I'm doing. Okay. What am I doing tonight? Good question. Well, I've got a couple things I got to do here. I got to get this mouth right. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to be able to do this. I got to get another monitor in here. We're going to definitely have to get another monitor in here for comments, because this is almost perfect. What I forgot, I have to warm up the clay. I've got to warm up the clay, and I got to add some more. I got to warm up the clay, and I have to warm up. I need some more naphtha in my. I need naphtha in my bottle here. Let's do one at a time here. I gotta go warm up the clay. I'll be right back. Takes 40 seconds in the microwave. So see what I like to do, and I'll show you this in a second. First, let me get this. And as you can see, well, I'll do this first. Pull up my naphtha. Gotta have my naphtha. Come on, get off of here. Perfect amount. All right, this is naphtha. I use this to smooth out the texture. Okay. buy a gallon of this stuff at a time. I do use quite a bit of it. So, now, the next thing I wanted to share with you is how I warm up my clay. I know roughly how much I'm going to end up using, so I'll stick a couple balls of clay on here. And you don't want to melt this stuff really strong, real bad. So you stick it in the microwave, like if you've got a high wattage microwave, you got to make sure it's a high wattage microwave. And you just warm it up for like 40 seconds. That's it. And it's nice and soft, really pliable. There's a little bit of hard spots, but what I'll do is I'm going to incorporate these two pieces together. I'll put them over there. If I need to warm them up again, I'll do that. But there's some spots on here that are real hard, or not real hard, but like kind of hard, and then some soft. So what you want to do is you want to get it all warmed up and kind of even hardness. You don't want it all to be too, like one area real soft and the other area is not real, different texture, different hardnesses. And I'm just trying to make it nice and even. Now I like to try and keep this in my hand to make sure that it stays warm and somewhat soft, because this is a hard clay. This is not there's 3 different grades of monster clay. You've got hard, medium, and soft. And this is the hard. I use hard for my sculpturing. And it's just that I like a hard sculpture. And the reason, I'll give you more of a reason in a second here. Let me get my chair back where it belongs. God. And I need that picture. Yeah, I need that picture up. Let me get my picture back up so I can see. Asylum Beyond. I told you I'd be back on here tonight. Hold on, let me pull the picture up that I have on in the background, but I need to shrink. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Where'd the picture go? Huh. I don't understand what I do with it. Okay. We need to shrink this down by a lot. So I can, okay. Now I can read your comments. I just wish I could increase the size of the right now I'm just working on the lips. He's back. I'm back. You're darn right I'm back. And I want to get these lips right. They are almost there. I mean, they really are. Okay. All right, so the first thing I want to do is get things out of the way. Screwdriver out of there. Get the scooper out of there. I need all this stuff off to the side real quick, because when I start carving away this clay, I don't want it falling into the tools that I'm using, because it becomes messy as all heck, trying to keep the tools from getting all messed up, which I'm going to be soaking in naphtha. I have a feeling over the next couple of days. You want to see all this clay all over the tools? Want to get that off? All you got to do is let that thing soak in naphtha. I'll just stick it in a little flat pan and stick all my tools in naphtha and clean it off real good. I'm just trying trying to get all my scoopers. Look at all that clay all over that. It'll come right off in naphtha. Let me see if I can see what happens here. I'll clean one just to show you. And then you let it soak for a little bit. That's already starting to come right off of there. That tool's soaking in naphtha. Alright, so let's do this. I'm going to keep my hands off of that. And I'm going to get all this stuff up here. Got a lot of crumbs of clay. And, get that off the ground, off the front of this thing. What a mess. But this is the price you pay. Well, the one thing about this is at least it's not, this clay is wax-based clay, so you don't have that, that's the tool I'm using for the brush. All right. Now I pretty much what I need is the one. I still got a little tiny bit in there, but not much. Now what I want to do is I want to I'm cleaning off these brushes or tools real quick. There's just too much clay on them. And what I plan on doing tonight is smoothing this out just a little bit. I'm looking at the to smooth this out a little bit. And get all the rough bumps out of it. I'll put this in my hand. It's already hardening, not fast. Already hardening, not fast. It needs to be sharper here. Alright, I just saw a comment pop up. What do we got there? What's it say? Asylum. Oh yeah, it's going to come alive. It's definitely going to be very. I'm going to try to be as accurate as I can possibly be with this. I still got to put the little bubble right in the corner of the mouth here. Um, you know, some people don't like the flashback. Uh, I want you to think of it as its own mask, um, because it's not identical to the original. All right, it's not identical to the original mask. But what it does have is it does capture the essence of the original mask. It really does. Right now, I'm just trying to take out some of the rough texture of the. You see all the little lines and stuff that are in on this little sculpting tool marks. Now, the other thing I want to do while I'm doing this is I want to drop this line. Um, Geez, I can't overemphasize this too much. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I've got to be real careful about how I do this. All right, so right in here, right at the crook of the nose, I'm trying to make this a little bit more wider. And all that's going to require. This clay is pretty soft in my hand. I can really get the angle right. Like I was trying to say yesterday, I had to make these lines a little bit more slanted back to widen that look so the face doesn't look elongated. Right here, this here, yeah, I have the right pitch now with this. And you'll see how that comes together in a minute or two. Just a very little bit of clay on there to give me a line. I'm just creating a little bit of a line there, just so I have a guideline on how to smooth that out. And I got to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm creating a little bit wider of a line, and you'll see it in a second. very little thin things of clay. Ooh. You got all your caps on. Thank you, because I can see the caps better. I'm going to remind everybody to please use the caps, because it makes it tough. Eyesight sucks. You can't see me, but I'm out of frame. But what I'm doing is I've got my glasses off when I'm close looking at something like this, looking straight at it. I've got my glasses off, and it doesn't look like a big adjustment, but there's been a little adjustment here. With the widening of the cheek lines. All right, now pointed towards you. Now the old line ran higher up and it was dropping down in here. Now this line's still here, but it's more prominent now. It's a little bit wider this way, and then see what it does to the face. It makes the face now a little wider looking and not so elongated. All right, so it doesn't look like it's real long. That's the objective. I had to make sure that these lines were right. All right. And everything else I pretty much have. I want to get these. I got a lot of hard lines. All these like clay, you see all the clay marks and stuff. That's all got to be smoothed out a little bit with the tools before I can start using that. I need a flatter tool for that. And then I'm going to work on this bump right here, because this bump's just a little bit too prominent, and the eye cut goes down just like this. Needs to be a little flatter in here to match this side. There's these little things that I have to do. All right, so. You.
What's happening?
I'm alive and in the mix. Now I'm actually just doing sculpting. I'm changing the lines on the cheek line because the face looked too elongated.
Right.
So I made the cheek lines, instead of they were dropping down too low like this, straight down.
Right.
It made the face look real long. You widen the cheeks out. Like I changed the pitch from here to here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once I did that, it changed the whole concept. Now I'm smoothing out the lips. See the lips of the on there that I have on my. These things are right on the fucking money. They're right on the money. And I think this is going to be a really good flashback.
Hell yeah.
So, what you working on? Everything? No, you went into the other room already. That's fast. Okay, so. All right. A little bit more clay right up in here. Just a touch. Let me read your comment. Give me a second here. Sorry for the delay. I'm just trying to keep my glasses off my head right now. Okay. And what am I doing here? You know what? I'm half tempted to put the naphthalene in here just to see where we sit. Just want to smooth out these lips just a little bit better on the lumpy bumps. Okay. Let's see what happens. There's a lot of clay on here. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to smooth out a little bit of the texture. You can already see it working. You see how much clay came off onto that? It almost turns the clay into liquid. This naphthalene, you can see it already. It's rubbing it right off. And all I'm trying to get rid of are the crazy lines. Sculpture tool marks, the tool marks. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. You won't see any lines when I'm done. But it'll also, see how it gets like real, what do you call it? It gets, it takes the shine away. And what that also does for me is it allows me to see the imperfections in the tools, like the tool marks. You can see where I need to take more clay away. I can just see more of the details, believe it or not. I don't know if the camera pulls that out, but I know that as I'm doing this, it's starting to look pretty good. Yeah, you'll really start seeing this come to life over the next couple of weeks. We are going to make a really good flashback, and now let me get to that. I'm just trying to get this a little bit here. This is really rough in here. I got to get that smoothed out a lot better. Yeah, it'll start making sense. All right, so let me clean this sponge real good. And then I'm going to put my glasses on. Now see, I can see where I have to be able to sculpt more. I got to take some more out of here. There's lumps. It's real lumpy right in here. There's lumps over here that's a little too lumpy. But this area here kind of smoothed out real nice. You don't want to look like, you don't want it to look like you're like something sculpted. Uh, okay, so, okay, screen use flashback mask. It's not bulky. The neck, I got a lot of work to do in the neck area. Hold on, let me read up. I'm going to start at the top where well, boy, I can see the flashback coming alive. Asylum. Are you going to thin the neck down in the flashback mask? Yes, it's not going to be as wide here. It's going to be, I'm going to taper this down a little bit more, and more rounded. Like now this here, that's pretty much where I want it to be, as far as how wide the chin, or how the neckline is this way. That's the way I want it to stay. Let me see. The neck on the screen used flashback mask, it's not bulky. And the neck getting trimmed, yes. The neck's getting trimmed, yes. That's without going. I love how the flashback Myers look like the '81 version. It does have that look to it. It does. It has that. It has the that '81 look, as you say. But now I want to work on this area here, because this is a little too rounded. Why it's a little bulky right there, right where I'm working, is because I had the eyebrow in place right in here, and I don't want that eyebrow. It was bulging out just a little bit there, so I have to get it so where it's rounded, so it looks like it's the shape of the. First thing, the hardest thing, more importantly, is getting the shape right. Once you get the shape right, and the fine details of like doing the lines and that kind of thing, that'll all come into play like really good. So the first thing is getting the shape right. Yeah, now it's getting there. In here, I still got to add some clay in this area because it's a little too thinned out. Why is half the eyebrow missing? Okay. All right. So this my old sculpture, the original sculpture that was on here, I altered this. All right. The original sculpture didn't look anything like this. All right, and it was more. It looked more like my Flashback 78 is what it's called. Not Flashback 78. Night Creeper 78 was the original sculpture on here, and that sculpture had more of an egg shape face. All right, this has more squared. All right, so what I kept doing was I would, I add the features and try to bring in the look of the flashback. The first thing I had to do is add more scowl and bring it out. The scowl had to come out. I had to cut the chin line back, way back. All right, the bottom of this chin is even with the scowl. If you turn it to the side, I'll do it. I'll show you. Let me see if you guys can see this. Okay, you see how the bottom of this chin is even with this point of reference right here? All right, that's what had to be, that's the correct proportion of the actual, and the skin, and the chin, the lips I guess the bottom of the nose, the chin, and the brow are in the exact same positions. The profile, damn, I'm not talking well. I'm not very lethargic today. I know what it is, though. My sugar was out of whack all day today. But I had to bring the scowl out. The scowl was a little too far back. All right. I brought this undercut out a little bit so that the bottom cut of the eye came in just a little bit behind the nose, where before this area here was sunk way back. I mean, probably about that far. It was all the way back. All right, and I was trying to achieve the same look as I did with the. Hold on, let me try and get this mark out of here. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, so when you're working on this kind of project, I'm changing the whole face. I didn't change the back of the head. I changed from here forward. All right. And I still have to be careful because when the mask is finally made from this, I have to make sure that the eyes and the nose still line up to where, it's going to fit on your face okay. So there's all right, so what we're trying to do here is just fill in. This is just a little too deep of a cut. It'll really come to life once I start getting the proportions correct. That's the hard part about this, getting the proportions right. You can't cheat on this because it won't look like the flashback if you don't do it right. And what I'm doing here is, you see how deep this crevice is here? I'm filling that in a little bit. I don't want it that deep. We're not putting a ton of clay on there either. It's not a lot of clay. We want clay there. We don't want it too deep. Sorry, guys. Somebody called on my phone, and yeah, I lost. Now I lost like five. I had 5 people on. Now I got 2, including myself. So sorry about that. Ridiculous. I don't like that feature on there. If somebody calls your phone in the middle of a stream, you're pain in the ass. I'm back on. It says that anyway. All right, wait a minute. Why is that showing up like that? Let me zoom back out. Sorry. I'm back on. Somebody called my phone. Why does this not look right? Yes, put your caps on, please, and I'll tell you why. Um, because I can see the text better. Because I'm sitting from a distance. I'm sitting a distance away from the sculpture. So let me explain. I can't stand this. But every time somebody makes a phone call to my phone, it cuts the stream off. So if it gets interrupted again, which I put, well, I can't even turn the, I'm just trying to figure out a way to shut the phone off so nobody can call. Can't do that without causing major problems with my phone. That's, All right, so just trying to get my seat back up here where it belongs. And all I'm doing is filling in this this heavy area of, it's too bulgy right in there. There's too much of a indentation right in here, so to speak. I had to add more clay to this side of the head. That was one of the problems with the actual sculpture. So, still adding stuff. That's just trying to get it to where don't want too much. I don't want to have to carve off too much. What does that say? H4 rep. Have you made an H4 rep? No, I didn't do that. There's a mask out there called the 13 by Nick Mulpagano at Handy Boy Studios. He's got a really good mask, and like I said, he asked me not to. He didn't ask me not to, but he kind of hinted that he was making that mask when I was originally starting my sculpture way back, and yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. That filling that, squaring up that face a little bit definitely worked. All right, so I also have to fix this jawline just a little bit right in here. It's still very rough. This is a rough copy of what this is going to be in the near future. Very rough copy. And when I'm smoothing this in, I'm just filling little tiny holes that are like indentations that are not supposed to be there. Smoothing it out, blending it into the face. Now there's a little spot that's bothering me right here. Asylum. Cat bit off Tyler Swift's head. Well, interesting. Ask the cat how she tastes. How does Tyler Swift taste? I know one thing. I got tired of hearing about the Tyler Swift stuff. I did. It was so stupid. It really was. It wasn't. Okay, you know what? We're at the point of, okay, time to smooth out now. What I'm doing is I'm taking away all the lumps and clumps. I'm not taking away too much. I'm not cutting into it deep. And see what I'm doing here is this was kind of like bulging out real high right here, high spot. And then it was kind of tucking in too much. So I took out that high spot down in this area. But I left this outer edge out as far as it was because it was right where it needed to be. I was just taking out that bulge that was there, where the old eyebrow was there. You know, and I took the eyebrows. I never did finish that because the phone rang when I was trying to explain that. And every time the phone rings, when you're streaming, it shuts the stream down. It pauses it. You know, it's until you can get it up and running again. I was just trying to get this outer shape of this head right. Now I'm taking away because I added quite a bit of clay in this area. And that's what I have to do now. All right, let me read. You can't hear me? Can you hear me okay now? I'll have to remember to speak up. All right, because the camera's away from me, it's behind me. And the reason why I have it zoomed out, I have it zoomed in to the project. But the camera's probably about 6 feet away from me. So, can you hear me okay? Let me see. Let me make sure my mic's on. Let's make sure the mic's on. Check, check. Yeah, that's on. Okay. All right, maybe I can bring this camera in a little closer. So it's right next to me. Bring the camera in closer. That's what we'll do. How's that? A little better? Can you hear me okay now? Boy, when that phone call came through, it messed up everything. Like my display, it still looks like it's zoomed way in, but on the camera itself, it's not zoomed in. So it really changed everything up on me. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me now? Somebody respond. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not now. I don't know whether you can hear me. That's the problem. Okay, you can hear me now, all right? Yeah, I got a lot of work to do to this yet. A lot. But we'll get there. We will get there. Good. Good. You can hear you can even hear the clay getting scraped off. That's good. That means my volume's pretty good. Maybe it's on your end. Mr. Braxton, you might want to shut down and then reload, restart it, refresh, however you want to call it. Refresh the stream. Shut it off and then come back. Let me see. Now see, last night I was in such a great mood to do this. I was in the mood for this, and tonight I'm not quite in the same mood I was in last night. But I'm not going to get done if I don't do what I need to do. You know. Yes, sir. Got to keep working it. All right, so. Bunch of high spots that I got to get down now. This is a lot of work, but it's worth it. To me, I don't know. I love it. I love doing this stuff. This is really fun to me. But it's boring. I like I said, I talked and talked and talked last night, and tonight I don't have much of a voice. Yeah, that's changing the way that looks. That is so important to have that right pitch, because that changes the width of the face. If that's too elongated this way, if that cut is too far down this way, it gives you the wrong pitch. It just doesn't look right. I got to redo this ear. If you guys never see me work on the ears are easy for me. Some people have a real hard time with them. And let me try to explain something about ears that will help you if you're trying to be perfect with ears. All right. The reason why I believe the ears are so easy for me is because the ears aren't perfect. They're not. They're not perfect at all. They have all kinds of little subtle imperfections, and you want it to look like the mask, yes, but a little a little dent here or there, that doesn't matter. But a little tiny, it's got to be still somewhat small. But unlike the nose has to be really nice. As you can see, the nose on here, it has to be really, really nice for it to look good. You can't. Noses to me are the hardest. They're the hardest thing to sculpt. I think they are the hardest. Some people don't have any problem with them, but then that's just not me. I have problems with noses. Eye cut, I pretty much have them nailed. I know what they are. And I know the difference between the original 78. I know the difference between the 81. The reason why the 81 looked different than the original is because Dick Warlock had a wider head, which stretched the mask. The mask was a very thin, small mask. And when Dick Warlock wore the mask, his head was wider, and it stretched the eye cuts to make him look different, but they weren't different. They were still the exact. It was still the exact same mask, but with somebody else's head in it, it looked different. I don't know. I think the last stream just didn't upload. Maybe it didn't upload. It was like a 3 hour, almost 3 hours, maybe a little longer than that. Takeoff Killer, what's up? Yeah, I gotta look at it and see what happened. Because I don't know if it uploaded. I mean, it was only a chat anyway. It wasn't like it's not something I would want to leave up anyway, because I didn't really do anything. There wasn't anything to watch outside of just talking. If you were there for the conversation, great, But as far as trying to upload a 2 or 3 hour stream when there's nothing being done on there other than talking, I don't even think I want to bother with that. So if it didn't upload, I mean, it's supposed to upload automatically after I'm done streaming, but maybe it didn't. I don't know. I have to look at it. I'll have to look at it when I'm done streaming here. Oh yeah. Let me turn this on its side again to see how this is coming in. Yeah, that's looking better. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's more square. His face looks more square now. Okay. So what do I want to do here? I barely put any clay in there. There's a reason for it. Okay. Now, by doing the naphtha on here, it exposes the shape of it, literally. No pun intended. But it exposes the true shape of what I've been carving and how I've been smoothing out. And what has to be removed and added still. I'm really rubbing this because that'll take some of the clay away, the scratch marks. All right, leave that there. Let my hand dry a few minutes. I gotta let that dry now. I can't mess with anything over here now because this is all soft and wet. I start doing anything to that, it'll get real scraped up. You can scrape it up real bad. You gotta let it dry for a good 15-20 minutes before you can do anything on this side again. That's why I kind of hesitate on using the naphtha right away, because I want to get everything just right. I want to get everything just right. All right, so I'll put the see what I'm doing there is I put that edge there and then smeared it back onto the cheek area. Now what I'm doing is I'm pulling off that clay on the back side of that line, so it blends into the cheek again real nice. All right, and then what we do is we go into here and we get that, and we just take the loop tool. Now, I'm going to use my finger a little bit to get that sharp edge off of there. See where we're going with this? See how that's blending in now? Believe me, I used a little bit of clay there, not a lot. Now, I'm going to use a little naphtha again. That allows me to see the lumps that have to be pulled off of this yet. Believe me, it's still not done yet. This cheek line's not done yet. Has to be more subtle and more natural looking. It's too sharp of an edge. You know, that's going to come down once you just keep rubbing that until it's a natural, nice round surface. Naphtha's your friend. I should have black gloves on. I should have chemical gloves on, and I don't. I ran out of them yesterday, so I have to get more of that. Yeah, that definitely helped. But I can see like little spots in here that have to be done yet, and up in here. While that's soft, this is like a little round ball bearing, all right, and that's going to rub out like any of the imperfections, and you use bigger and you get bigger and bigger if you need to, and you get those like areas that looks like there's a little bit of a bulge there, and all I'm doing is taking it out. Same with the mouth area here. And that's just blending this clay together. All right, now we're going to take the little bit of naphtha again. And take out those marks. Now I still see lines in here that I have to get rid of, but they're in this area here, and that means I got to use the loop tool to get that out of there. But I may have to wait till it dries just a little bit more. I want it to stay soft, so it pulls away quite a bit of that material, but I don't want to take too much away. And I can see where the imperfection is here with that lighting. And I'm barely scraping this. I mean, I'm really putting very next to no pressure at all. In here, there's a line that goes down behind this, and I have to put that back in. I'd taken it out because of changing the pitch of the. I changed the pitch of the the cheek line. Everything to make this really look right, it's all about the angles. You have to make sure your angles are on the money. The angles are on the money. The angles are off, your whole mask will not come in like you want it to. Now let me look at that. Yes, that looks a lot better. That's looking a lot better. Okay, you guys can talk to each other. Anytime you guys want to talk to me directly when you're talking to me, just put at custom corpses. Use the at symbol, and then you put at custom corpses. Now there was one up there, but it got interfered with. So let me take a look. You put at custom corpses. In front of the of your text. At custom corpses, 2 words, not all one word. Custom corpses. At custom corpses, and then put your text. This way, I know that the message is directly from me. And for any of you guys out there talking to each other, which is fine, that's great. That's what you want, communication with each other. You want to put at Takeoff Vision, at Asylum, or the Asylum, and beyond. When you do that, they get the message directly. It turns orange for them so they can see that they're being talked to directly. So it's a little secret that I just revealed for you. You know? And because I did that, I have to wait. Let me see. Yeah, that looks good. Now I have to wait. Shoot. I can't do too much more of this because it's still too wet. Let's see what I can do with the jaw and the chin line. Nope, it's too wet. I'm pretty much at a standstill right now because I have to let this dry for another. Well, you know what? I might as well do this over here then, since I already wet the whole thing. Seeing it come together, guys. It's a slow process. It takes a while to get it done. But when this thing's really nice, it'll be. I'm really going to try and get this done, and my other. Well, that's done, so I don't have to do nothing but make a silicone master, and then make a mold, one-piece mold. From it. So once I'm going to get this flashback, my goal is to have this ready for sale by Halloween. You know, September. I'm thinking September, August, September. I should have this completed. I mean, silicone, the whole 9 yards. Get it all ready That's the goal. This could take a while getting this really nice. Now, it looks like this area here, I have to take out some more material right in here. This is a little bit too kind of flat in this area. You know, so I'll figure that out, but I can't take any more material off of this thing while this thing is wet like this. I don't plan on doing anything more than this tonight. Because one, I'm not really in the mood to do it. But I am going to fix this one little spot here. Oops. Perfect. All right. Lips are going to be coming in really. The lips are really, I mean, man, they're really on. They're really nice. There, check them out. Check out them lips. Ooh. Hot lips, Houlihan. Hot lips, Houlihan. I see something I don't like now. Right in here. Let's see how that works. I'll figure that out. I have to, it's too soft. I can't really mess with it. Another day for that. I've noticed something too. It's another thing that, the reason why the angles are so important, because I've noticed a lot, some sculptures, looking dead at it, looking straight at it, looks really good. All right, but then as soon as you see the sculpture from an angle, it looks flat or something looks off. It doesn't look right. That is so hard to capture the right pitches, the right angles, because you're looking at two-dimensional pictures most times. If you have something in three-dimensional, you're really, if you have like something like a mask, like if I have a mask in front of me that's right there that I can sculpt and mimic that instead of a two-dimensional picture, it's so much easier to do. It's a lot easier to do. Yeah, I don't. Well, this is giving you the appearance that the nose is small. It's because when I bumped out this scowl, this area right in here, you know, came out with it. so it shortened the length of the nose. This original nose went all the way up into like about that long. It was up to about here. Now the pitch of the nose has been dropped down here instead of up here. All right, because of that little indentation. And the only way I'm going to be able to fix that is I'm going to have to add a little bit of clay right in here. All right, to bring this up and then flatten this out. Just, you know, fill this void. As a matter of fact, I don't care. I'll do it now because it doesn't look right, and I don't like it that way. Alright, so what I have to do, and I want to do this a little at a time. I don't want to sneak this in. I'm going to sneak this in. And since I didn't put any, what do you call it on this? You'll see what I mean in a minute. Gotta be careful on how much I put on there because I don't want to have to spend all day trying to get it off. The trick to this sculpture is you really have to know what you're saying. I can't explain it. I don't know, like, like trying to figure out what's wrong is 99% of the battle. Pipe Master, how you doing, bud? This is coming in for you, pal. Discovering 99%. I was just discussing how like the nose looked a little too short. It looked short because when I bumped out the scowl the way it's supposed to be, it shortened up the nose, and it didn't really shorten it, but it gave the appearance that it's shorter. So all I'm doing now is filling in this area just a little bit, and I'll have to put the wrinkle back in, but that's okay. My man Pipe Master's on. Love it. I got a bunch of smoothing out to do for that. Still not enough. Still not enough there yet. And it's more because it's right in here. I don't want the nose to look pudgy, because that's what it did. When I bumped out that scowl, it made the nose look real pudgy. I don't have to touch nothing here. I only have to work on this area here. Yes, I gave it length already. I already gave it the length. I knew what I was saying. I knew it. The more I do this, the better I get. Let me see what you said. Well, I actually have the picture up right in front of my stream, and the nose is pretty spot on. Um, it's actually I had to widen the cheek lines. What I did was I took the cheek lines. Let me just show you. Do it this way. Just easier. I took the cheek lines were like this, and I widened them this way, and that took away that elongated look. As soon as I did that, now you don't have that elongated look. It's a little wider on this side of the head. I added more clay on this side. I'm going to make the ears pitch just right. I mean, to shorten the nose, to give you the appearance of the nose being shorter, all you really have to do is take away from the top again and dig in a little bit. That's all. You don't do anything to the base. Nothing to the base. It's the only way you can I'm more satisfied with that. I actually like this. Looks better. It looks better already. Yeah, the bridge is right. Yes, that changed the way this looks now. That really did. So if you look at this on a profile now, no, I still got some smoothing out to do. Don't get worried about that. I got a bunch of work to do here. Have to redo that knee. All right. I just have to get that lumpiness out and more of a. I don't want it to look like it's rounded like this. You know, that's what I don't want. I don't want it to look like it's got a pointed nose here. So it doesn't have a pointed nose. And the only way you can get that illusion out of there is by filling in this void just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So it's got more of a, straight down look. It doesn't, I don't want it to look like a pudge nose, and that's what it kind of looks like still. So I'm still not quite there yet with how this has to be. I get what you're saying, short nose, but it's not really any. There's been no change to the nose, Pipe Master. None at all. As far as this, I didn't change this at all. None of that. It's just that the scowl's further out now, and that gave this more of a. I had to bump this area out on the nose to give it a little more length. I want the top of the nose to come in like right here, but it has to. It can't look like it's too deep in here. I'm a ways off from getting this perfect. But the goal is to have this ready for Halloween. To have this, people can purchase this thing for Halloween. Pipe Master's been such a great help. He gets a free one of these masks. He's a collector that has a good eye. And I'm not saying remember how, when you came over, Pipe Master, that day you came over and you went, oh, yeah, it does look different when you're here. Believe me, that's the same scenario with this nose. The nose isn't changed. I had to make sure that everything was the same. Anyway, I want to fill that. I got to, because that's driving me nuts. I don't like that pudgy look. Not supposed to look pudgy. the center of that. Just got to get the profile right. There we go. Then I'll fill in the sides. Just the furthest point has to be in the right spot. Okay. Might have to take a little bit off of there, but that's okay. Do me a favor, guys. Text in caps. Put your caps lock on, because I can't see the text that well when it's not on caps lock. Cap locks. Put your caps on. Just moving material right now. That's all I'm doing. Pipe Master. So how you doing, buddy? I can tell you must be working a lot, because you're barely on anymore, and I haven't been on that much either. So that's partially my fault. Hope everything's good for everybody out there. It's a tough world we're living in right now, financially. It's really rough out there. Just hope everybody's doing okay. We'll get through all this. It'll get better. Everything just costs way too much. Everything's costed way too much. But we're living in. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Believe it or not, it looks better. Alright, let me take out some of the rough edges of it now and smooth it out. take off vision. The lip of, what's this? The nose looks way too big. The lip of the nose. Oh, well, I'm not trying to make an H2. Please don't go there. Take off vision. I'm not trying to make a Halloween 2. Um, this is a flashback mask. Halloween 2's next. Maybe. Depending on how I feel about, where this is. Don't even try to suggest going into a different mask. I am definitely looking to do the flashback. There is no, I have to make sure that I even try to stay clear of my original sculpture. It makes me want to do it all the time because I don't like these eye cuts that are on the flashback, but that's just my opinion. But to make an accurate flashback mask, you have got to make sure that you get the eye cuts have to be where they're at, because that's what's on the flashback. There's cheek lines are different, the lips are a little different, but yeah, oh yeah, Pipe Master, this definitely looks a lot better. You have to be here to see what I'm talking about. I'm looking at the camera. I can see it. I can see what you're saying, and believe me, it doesn't look quite just like that. Take a little more away from here. Come on. Yes. Yeah, this is flashback all the way, baby. We're not doing anything but flashback here. There isn't going to be no. That's the next mask. I think I am going to do the Halloween too, but that won't be ready for this year. And there's quite a few Halloween 2 masks out there that are already really good. And I kind of don't feel like, I don't know, I'm still debating on whether I really want to do a Halloween 2. I really have not made up my mind on that. I think my Night Creeper will represent Halloween 1 and 2 just by a different paint job, that's all. That's how I feel about that. But that's just my opinion. I'll let you guys tell me what you think as far as should I do a flashback or flashback, an 81. I'm going to call it the 81. Should I do the 81? Let me let that soak for a minute. Now I still got to put the ripple up there in the nose. And I think I want to take out just a little bit more in here. So there's a little bit more of a... I think the void that I needed to fill was right in the middle here. It was a little too, scooped. So I can still take a little bit more out at the top of the nose, up in this area. But that's not going to be until I get the picture of the flashback in front of me. I have a small picture. I actually was working on the lips mainly tonight. That was what I was actually aiming to do. Let's see. All right, let me turn it towards you so you can see it. Hey, hey, hey. What's that say? Home, what? I can't read what that says. I have to get closer. I have to get closer to the screen. Let me read some of these comments. Looks off from the front as well. Now, I mean the nose needs to be smaller. Yes, I agree, the nose needs to be smaller. The nose needs the short look. Yeah, it looks too wide, too. No, it's not wide. Hard dude 86. Thank you, bud. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. The problem is the way you guys are seeing this. It's not. You're not looking at the mat. You're looking down. Hold on. Let me see if I can lower. Can I lower this? Yeah, because that's. I think that has a lot to do with the problem here. Is the camera angle that you guys are seeing. Like I said. Okay. Give me a second. This cheap ass stand. I ordered 2 new stands. They'll be here in the next day or two. I need you guys to be at literally the same height as the face. So what I'm going to do, give me a second here. Give me a second. Let me try that. Adjusting the stand. Let's see what I can do here now. All right, you're at the same height as that mask now. It still doesn't look right on the film. I don't know why it. I had a phone call come in here. Yes.
Are you on that?
Yeah, but only for a little bit longer.
Don't come back.
All right, so now we're going to go out and I'm trying to line up these two pictures. And then I'm going to show you on screen. They're almost the exact same size, guys. All right, now I'm going to take you out of the stand because I have the stand sitting perfect. You see what I got lined up here? Oh, shoot. That's not going to do me any good. Hold on. Shit. How can I do this? Damn. Give me a second here. I don't know why this is doing this. I really don't. Come on. How am I going to show this? I can't show this. I have the two pictures. I can't even do it that way. I know what I'll do. I'll screenshot it. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'll show it to you guys. Shush. And I have the pictures exact same size. All right, so now I have to screenshot this, and I'll show you on film. Nope, that's it. There we go. We got it. Let me do it again. Let me do it again because this thing's up in my way. Okay, this is a screenshot. Now I can show you guys. I'm going to do it from my seat so you can see it. I took a screenshot of what I'm looking at when I'm trying to make this mask. All right, so now I got everything in my way, right? Let me get this out of the way because I'm kind of pretty much. All right, now I'm going to put that on the stand. So sorry for taking so long doing this. And actually, the weird thing is my nose is actually shorter . Damn it. What is it with this thing? There it goes. Can't wait till that new stand comes. There you go. Let me turn the light down a little bit on this. No, you can't. What am I doing? I'm not live. Now let me try and get the text back from behind this thing so I can see you guys talking to me. Move this over further. I just want to see the text. All right, now, you see this? This is what we're looking at now. The length is right on the money. The length is right on the money. You see the separation of the mouth. This picture and this picture are almost identical in size. All right. The size matters, as she says. But this actually looks a little longer than my nose. If I shorten that nose, it'll look like shit. I can't shorten the nose. Believe me, it's already short. Yes. All right. You guys are seeing what I was looking at. That's what I'm looking at. Pipe Master, you still on? Take a look at this. That's a side-by shot of the screen used mask. I'm not going off of my nose actually looks a little shorter than the actual screen used mask. But I've got everything proportioned just about perfect. Let me see what you said. All right, I got to back up because the camera is too close to this. Got to be at least 6 feet away. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. All right, let me back this up. Damn it. Let me look straight at it. All right, took that flare out of that nose. Nostrils. Yeah, there's a big difference there. Flare's gone. I think it needs to be a little bit more narrow too. Yeah, it does. A little bit more narrow. Huh. That's really weird, man. But it's the start. It's, you know, there are little things that I didn't change on my sculpture that I have to make sure that I see. I'm going to shorten up those nostril flares a little bit more. I'm going to definitely shorten them more so they're not as prominent. And I can see how it has to be done now. I can see it. So that's good. Yes, sir. And it'll also widen that cheek line better too by taking those nostrils down. You guys still on with me? Yeah, it looks like I'm the only one on. I guess this damn thing cut off on me. Sorry, guys. Internet sucks tonight. I don't know why I keep getting bumped on and off, but it's like, you know, all night it's been doing the same thing. So, damn. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodnight since this thing is like, you know, it's not cooperating. It doesn't look like anybody's on here. Yeah, it got bumped again. What a pain in the ass. All right, sorry guys. You know, I don't know what's going on. It all started when I got that stupid phone call. Bunch of nonsense. So anyway, yeah, right in the middle of the stream, phone rings, stops everything, lost a lot of people watching. I got to figure out a way to shut the phone off when I'm streaming. I don't want any more phone calls interrupting my streams. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, there's somebody else that just jumped on, so yeah, I'm sorry. Uh, the phone rang again, and I got to figure out a way to shut the phone off when I'm streaming because I don't want any incoming calls when I'm streaming because that is absolutely a destructor. Destructs everything, messes it up. All right, guys, so I'm going to say goodnight. Peace. I'll see you on the next video. I'll be on next Sunday night, and I'll show you how far I've come with this sculpture. All right, peace. Have a good night.